Welcome back, another episode of the Tradepreneur Show. You may be asking, what happened to Mike? Well, if you've seen the earlier episode, you're familiar with Tanya Priest. She is a $2 million comfort advisor, producer in the HVAC home service space. She's going to be filling in for Mike for a few episodes and co-hosting with me. So welcome, Tanya.
Thank you. Love being here. Hi,
Do
everybody.
you?
Yeah,
This
is great.
You don't sound very enthusiastic. You sound kind of like,
I think it's wonderful.
Okay, great. Well, and I told you what the episode's going to be about, and you're very thrilled. You love the topic of tariffs, right?
Oh, yes. Extremely excited.
So today we're talking about tariffs because tariffs are out there. It is a big deal. I have my own beliefs and takes on the tariffs. Also, they're polarizing, especially business. How do you handle the tariffs? It was announced that, Amazon, if you follow the news at all, Amazon was going to line item tariffs out when you go on Amazon to price or to purchase something. The Trump administration was not happy about that. And I can understand both sides, and I can definitely understand why you might not want to see them separately. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what do you do, how do you do it. I'm going to share with you what we're doing as far as tariffs go. But to start, let's go to co-host Tanya. What do you know about tariffs? Do you know how to spell it?
I do know how to spell it. So what I know about tariffs is it's just basically a tax that anybody that is shipping into our country.
Okay, it's not really a tax, but okay.
Oh, well.
But
why don't you explain to me what a tariff is then?
But you're right.
An upcharge.
You're right. It has to do with trade, right? So trade in today's world, I mean, we've been involved, the world before the United States of America existed, we've been involved in trade, right? Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the United States, but the world has been involved in trade. And trade makes the world go round. So trade is very important. And tariffs have always been around. Mm-hmm. The United States pays tariffs all over the place. What we don't typically do is charge tariffs for our imports. So the Trump administration, love them or hate them, I'm not here to be political or take sides, although we are going to be controversial today, has put these tariffs in place, mm-hmm. right? And it's having an impact. We're starting to feel it. And some people support them, some people are against them. And what's interesting is you can find economists, some of the top economists in the world, that will present a phenomenal case as to why they're good. And you can find the same top-level economists on a different side as to why they're bad. Now, my personal belief is you are gonna like tariffs or hate tariffs and what they're doing. The Trump administration is doing based on a couple things, and one is your belief system, mm-hmm. right? And what side of the party you fall on is also going to impact that. But if you can put those things aside, and you can look at the reality of the situation, and you can kind of become an economist for a little bit, and also a business person, and a little bit maybe politician, but more importantly, a strategist, right? A strategist. You may, as long as you have an open mind and you're open to healthy conversation, debate, and you're open to finding out that the facts may not support your position, then you can really become educated as to what's going on, and you can make your own decision. The problem is, I think there's a lot of stupid people in the world. Do you feel that way too?
There are a lot of stupid people.
Now,
I do agree with that.
Stupid people, here's what my definition of a stupid person is. Somebody who just takes what's given to them. They don't independently do their research. They don't look to say, is this the latest meme on TikTok, or can this actually be supported? All right? And if you're one of those individuals, you're stupid. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Now, if you're somebody that says, "Wow, look at this meme that I just saw. Oh my God, that I don't know if that's real. Let me do some research. Let me look. Let me do more research besides social media. Let me maybe read a little bit." Then you're not stupid. You're informed. And now you can make your own decision. So, with that said, when it comes to tariffs, they're here. So, pro, against, one of the biggest things I think people have to realize is the tariffs, in my opinion, are less about trade and more about strategic initiatives for the United States of America, right? Where we are in the global economy, where the future is going. Look, our aspirin comes from China. I don't know about you, but one of the best ways to take out the United States of America is make the aspirin everybody's taking and taint it a little bit, right? So, I told you this was going to be a controversial episode. So, it's really about trying to bring things home, increase American manufacturing, and get a little bit more independence while also being involved in world trade. So, you got to go through a little pain, right? You got to go through a little pain to get there. So we're going through that pain. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this episode. Here it is. What are you going to do? We have manufacturers, being in the HVAC, plumbing, and electrical space, we have manufacturers who have instituted tariff surcharges that started May 1st. Okay? So, how are you handling that? How is your business going to handle that? How is you, as a technician, going to have that conversation? We already know how polarizing it is to line item it out on an invoice. So let's say you're going out and you're selling an HVAC system, and then you line item out your surcharge or your surcharges, your tariffs. You could go into a home that's pro Trump administration, and they could be like, "Yeah, I'm glad I'm contributing." Da 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 da, right? You go into a home that's not, and guess what? They're going to be angry, upset, so on and so forth. And then you're going to go into some homes that are just practical. They don't care. They understand what's going on. So the question is, first, if you have tariffs that are being passed on to you as a business, can you absorb that? Should you pass it on? Should you build it into your pricing? Or should you make it a separate line item? What are your thoughts?
That's a really good question. Gosh, that's really hard to answer. Everybody knows that they're coming.
If I came into your home and I sat down and I say, "Okay, here's the system. Let's just use a number 10,000." I know people are going to be watching like, "That's too much for a system," or "That's not enough for a system." It's simple math, right? And I come in and I say, "Okay, it's 10K. And then here's your tax, right? Oh, and here's your tariff. Okay, here's your grand total." Or if I just said, "You know what, the system is $12,000.
That's a much better way to come across.
Like for you, that's how you would?
Yeah, that's how I would want to do it.
Okay. So there's I guess a lot of different. If we had 10 people here, would we get 10 different answers? Would most of them be in how you see it? I think a lot would probably be how you see it. Like me, let me give you a simple example. I go to the grocery store. We're in nutty California. Now, I am a conservative, right? And I'm very conservative when it comes to the environment. So I am not one, I can't stand littering. I can't stand any of that. So when I go to the grocery store and I get plastic bags, I'm disposing of them properly, right? Out here, the local government decided we're going to charge you 10 cents a bag, and it's going to be separate because we want you to feel the impact. Well, look, there's 6 people in my family. I'm not bringing reusable bags every time I go. Now, I know there's probably a lot of people like, you're not care about the environment, whatever. I don't need you to charge me separately for the bag so I realize the impact. If you're going to charge me 50 cents more because I use 5 bags, just build it into the price. You don't have to tell me about it. You don't have to ask. One of the dumbest things a retailer can do is say, "Oh, do you want bags with that?" No, I'm going to carry all this shit out on my head, right? So, tariffs probably fall kind of in the same realm as far as people that want to see it or don't want to see it. For us, what we're doing, I want to share with you. I don't think it's so unique. I think there's probably a lot of people that are taking this approach, possibly, maybe not. But we're going to cut to a break, and when I come back, I'm going to share with you exactly what General Air Conditioning and Plumbing is doing to handle tariffs. Patrick Summers here, General Air Conditioning and Plumbing. I want to talk to you about our Service Plus program. Right now, for $189, you can get your heating tune-up done, a plumbing inspection, and an electrical inspection to make sure your major systems and components of your home are not only operating efficiently, but most importantly, safely. Let's get you comfortable. Let's make sure you're safe. Let's get your systems tuned up, dialed in, and ready for a new year. All right, we're back, and for those of you maybe just joining us, Mike Costa has not decided to go transgender. He actually is taking some time off, and Tanya is going to co-host with us for a few episodes. She was on an earlier episode. She is from the trade. She's in the trades, been in the trades a long time, from working for a trade school to running a call center to dispatching and selling $2 million a year. So, welcome.
Thank
again.
you.
As we come back from the break, I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on because you look quite differently than Mike Costa. So we're talking trades and tariff and the impact and what do you do. So first, before I tell you what the general does, what we are starting out doing, I believe where we're going, and this is kind of the research I've been doing and listening to some on both sides of the argument, some economists and people in the know. And I don't know, the goal is, the trades are bargaining and negotiating tool to get some more fair trade and to get manufacturing back to the United States and things like that. And it's having an impact. But I also believe while the tariffs will never fully go away across the board, like many probably don't know this, semiconductors coming in from China, we're in this whole huge trade war with China on the tariffs. I don't like the word trade war, but it resonates. It's because this is more about than about trade, especially when it comes to China. And China is a communist regime. And remember, you can like Chinese food and not like the Chinese government. All right? So it's not like all in, all out. With that said, the tariffs will probably be with us in some form or another for long term, right? But they're not going to be crazy. Deals will be reached. Things will be happening. Right now, China and the United States, this is a who blinks first scenario, okay? One of the brands we sell is made right here in the United States, but we're still being impacted by tariffs. Why? Because, as we know, there's components coming in from other countries. Not necessarily China, but some of the Asian countries and whatnot make a lot of the electrical components, steels, things like that. So we're seeing the tariff impact. Now, what do we do? So you have a couple options. Just pass it on, build it in your price, take what that tariff is on your material costs subject to tariffs and increase that price. 2, eat it, absorb it. Now, people may say you can't absorb it, you can't. Well, if you're very strategic about it and you can lean yourself out to where you can absorb it for a short period of time, then yes, you can. If you're already discounting when you get out there as one of your strategies to close a deal, you're essentially paying a tariff, right, by giving up that money. So if you're discounting and you can get away from discounting and do a better job of closing on the value of the system and what you bring to the table as a company, then that's one strategy. Lean yourself out for a period of time, which is a healthy exercise anyways, and be able to absorb that, okay? The other option is just, pass it on and don't build it into the price line item out. My concern with that is it's polarizing. So you could really upset people. Other people are going to be like, hey, yeah, it's great. You'll have a conversation around it. Other people are just, it's a non-issue because they just realize the reality of things. What is general air conditioning and plumbing doing? Well, I always believe that, and I believe it was Napoleon Hill that said something to the effect, I'm going to struggle to recall this exactly, but every action has an equal, greater, or like lesser reaction. So I really think I just butchered that. That just flows
Just a
from
tad.
me, but I think I butchered that, but that's okay. But you get what I'm saying. So I'm like, this is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity. This is where you take a negative, convert it to a positive, and promote it, right? So we believe in running a lean organization, so we'll lean out a little bit more for a short period of time. Again, here's the other thing with the tariffs. Like the overall tariffs to the extreme that they're at now, I believe it's like in the episode, remember Top Gun, the original one?
Oh, yeah.
Not this latest crazy one where they're like in a foreign country shot down and they steal a MiG in an enemy air base and fly away. I'm like, I thought I was watching like a cartoon from the 80s, or I guess the 80s is when I grew up. So the tariffs are like that scene in the original Top Gun. At the end, the U.S. is going up against some MiGs, and they need to launch more fighters. And I believe it was the elevator or the catapult was broke, and they were working on it. And the commander is on the phone. He's like, when will you fix it? We'll have it fixed in like 3 minutes, sir. He said, this thing will be over, or we'll have it finished in like 5 minutes, sir. And he said, this thing will be over in 3, right? And that always resonated with me there's certain things come along, and when you're in it, it's like time slows down. It feels like forever, but before you know it, you're through it. And I believe that's where we are now. Like the weight of the world can maybe feel like it's on you, especially if you're a business. And how do I add this in? How do I absorb this cost? Before we know it, we're going to be through this, okay? And we're going to be in a better place. That's my personal belief because of it. But while we're in it, what do? So when you're weak, appear strong. When you're strong, appear weak. Take a negative, convert it to a positive, and promote it. So we're running a special, and I don't mind saying this because it's out on the radio and we're advertising it. So I hope my competitors are listening because I feel like I'm podcast gold. Right? That's what I hope, but I don't think I am. Not yet.
Not yet.
Do you think I'll get there?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Anyways, we are running a promotion that, hey, the tariffs are here. We are getting surcharges from manufacturers because of tariffs, but guess what? Until the end of May, we are not passing those tariffs on. We will absorb those tariffs. So if you need to replace your heating, your air conditioning system, your water heater, get any repairs done where the tariffs exist, we, until the end of May, are not charging tariffs. Now, a couple interesting things with that. We will have to be leaner. We will have to like make sure that we are able to absorb that, which we are. You sit down, you do the math. It's a strategic decision. It's a business decision. You do the analysis before you make that decision, right? Don't run out and do that if you were like bleeding, okay? Now, when you can do that, if you remember that, take a negative, convert it to a positive, and promote it. So you can't just take the negative and convert it to a positive. You got to promote it. And so with something like tariffs, especially when you're getting charged tariffs, what do? Do you pass it on? One of the greatest things I think you can do is talk about it. Have the conversation about tariffs. Most people are like, shh, don't talk about tariffs. Don't even say anything that begins with the word T, right? Everybody wants to ignore it, like, oh, it's too polarizing. What are we gonna do? Guess what? We got fucking tariffs. Excuse my French. That is a French word. Deal with it. Come up with a plan. Be strategic. You got two options, maybe a little bit more than two options. You can sit and whine and cry and turn this into your political theater and bitch and moan about the tariffs, or you can say, okay, the tariffs are here. This is the reality of the situation. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to address it? How are we going to get through this? This is the question most people don't ask. How do we capitalize on this? How do we turn this into an opportunity? How do we become a better company because of this? And how do we generate revenue, attract more customers, and win? See, most people spend their time finding out and bitching and moaning, and then they get in a room with other people that do the same thing. Before you know it, they're all in this group hub crying and oh me, oh, what am I going to do? Listen, if you're in the trades, I don't care if you're a technician, if you're a business owner, you're listening to this and you're driving from one call to the next because you're not at a point where you can get out of your truck, or maybe it's just you and your truck, right? Maybe it's just you and your truck at this point because you're starting out, which is fantastic. Congratulations to you. You got what most people don't have, balls. So this is an opportunity. These tariffs are an opportunity to stand out, to stand up, and to grow and promote your company and to win. But it's all going to be mindset. It's all going to be how you approach this. And it's going to be who you surround yourself with. Because if you get done a hard day and you go out and you grab a beer and you're going to sit down with a bunch of other contractors, they're going to bitch and whine and moan, find another place to have a beer. Right? Or if you have to, go find a place to have grapefruit juice or a spritzer or something with, at least you'll be around people that are talking the right language. So, at the end of the day, the tariffs are here. You got to deal with them. You got to handle them. How you deal with them is going to start with how you feel about them and how you approach them. And if you feel like a victim, change your mindset. Don't be afraid to talk about them. And figure out how to use them and leverage them as a strategy within your business to win. And if you can do that, you are going to be ahead of the vast majority of other businesses out there. So, Tanya, how do you feel about that?
I loved everything you said. It is all mindset. It's always mindset. And misery loves company. So if you surround yourself with the right people, you'll think differently. So, yeah. It's all about mindset. It's turning that negative into a positive.
Well, because we can't control things that come at us in the business world, right? Even in our personal life, you just have to handle it. You got to deal with it. Things come. The sooner you can accept it that this is reality, this is what I'm in, and this is what I got to deal with, then you go to work on solutions. You go to work on how do I take advantage of this. And so we have to realize that when things come at us that are not ideal, right? Okay, how can I leverage this to improve? And sometimes that leverage and how you leverage it is just like tariffs. Look, if you're dealing with the tariffs, before you even worry about how you're going to handle it with the customer, this could be a great opportunity for you to have to look inside your business and find out, is there places you can lean out and be more efficient? You remember, I will tell you, when COVID hit,
Yeah.
I had been working with Francisco, my business partner, and the leadership team to get general air conditioning and plumbing extremely lean. Just lean out, lean out, lean out, lean out. And we got very, very lean. And when COVID hit, there was this kind of panic in the industry, all industries, in the communities. You know, it was like a ghost town when you drive down the street. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And people started using that to look at their company and figure out where they could eliminate waste. And I'll never forget, Tanya, you actually said to me, because I always used to tell the team, you know, we were going through some challenges. We're going through these challenges for a reason. This is preparing us. And you actually said to me one day, you're like, Patrick, remember how you kept telling us we're being prepared, we're being prepared? This is what it's for. And we didn't have to make any changes to our organization. We were already operationally lean and ready to go. So at the very least, use these increased costs and these tariffs to look at your organization and find out, how can I be better? How can we make this organization better? If you're a technician, how can I become a better communicator? What can I do to be better than everybody else? Because the people you're going in and you're seeing and you're serving, they're in the same scenario, right? They need somebody to come in that's strong, a leader, and reassuring to them. So with that said, we're going to wrap up the talk of tariffs and politics. I think we got a little bit into the politics on this one, which is fine. Hey, I'm going to be controversial. I said a few bad words, which is very, oh man, it's like the endorphins are flowing after saying those bad words. You should just say it. If you're sitting there, just say, I won't say it because you might not like bad words, but just get yourself there, all right? With that said, I appreciate you listening, appreciate your support. You can find us anywhere you can find a podcast. We're also on YouTube, so if you want to see what Tanya looks like, what I look like, you might want to edit it so you see more Tanya than me, but we're there. I really appreciate any feedback, comments, and liking the show. I'm super passionate about what I'm doing, so whether I got one listener or 100,000 listeners, you ain't stopping me.